Welcome everybody, my name is Tim Sandy. I'm a VMware Systems Engineer. In this session today we are going to talk about VMware's new product called Horizon Flex. And we're going to do a basic product overview at a one-on-one sales level. So nothing too technical or in-depth on the product, just again a general overview. So let's get started. The current end-user computing portfolio consists of our Horizon 6, which is our VDI solution, which offers virtual desktops, application publishing, and a single sign-on portal for your on-premise data center to get access to those desktops and applications. We also have Horizon Air, which is our DaaS solution, or Desktop as a Service, providing the virtual desktops and applications again, but it's in our cloud-based offering, and that sits on top of our vCloud Air instances. Now with Horizon Flex, we've added it to our end-user computing portfolio, and we can also provide those virtual desktops and applications locally on a PC or a Mac. So very generically, that is what Horizon Flex is. So Horizon Flex is comprised of VMware Fusion Pro, Player Pro, and Mirage to support both Mac and PCs. Flex offers desktop administrators the ability to centrally manage their virtual desktops using the Flex Policy Management Server to use for local execution on a Mac and PC-based computers. It also simplifies desktop management with desktop containers to easily entitle, control, and secure Windows virtual desktops for your Mac users, your contract workers, as well as your road warriors. It also provides access to rich corporate desktops even when disconnected from the corporate network. It allows you to manage, backup, and patch Windows virtual desktops using Mirage for Horizon Flex, which is a layering technology. You can also continue to use your own Windows image management tools if you do already use another tool. You don't have to use Mirage to do that, but it is an option. Finally, it helps reduce the overall cost of managing your virtual desktop infrastructure. With Horizon Flex policies, desktop administrators can enable time limits, or essentially an expiration date, for the end user's virtual desktops that they're using. Also gives the ability to remotely lock a desktop in the event that a computer is stolen, or say a user or an employee rather is terminated from the company. So it gives them the ability to remotely lock that, so either that employee that was given a pink slip essentially and terminated, or if that laptop was stolen. The administrators can entitle also desktops to individuals or even groups of users, so they have the ability to do either or. As well, they can distribute the virtual desktops over the network to the Mac systems, or they can also do it by copying the virtual desktop image locally from a USB key as well. As you see in this image, you can run your corporate image virtual Windows-based desktop locally on a Mac. So just like a employee might normally be using a Windows-based PC, we now have the ability, using Horizon Flex, to use a Mac system and also run a Windows-based virtual image and virtual desktop on that Mac machine. You also have the option to add AirWatch by VMware to Horizon Flex, and this will give you the ability to distribute Horizon Flex clients to Mac and Windows systems. It'll also give you the ability to enroll laptops to the AirWatch agent or through the URL. You can authenticate users with their corporate credentials, deploy pre-configured profiles and products, as well as give the ability to also sync, share, and manage personal content using AirWatch along with the new Horizon Flex product. So you might ask, how does Horizon Flex work? How is it used? So let me kind of do a walkthrough here and kind of show you how it works. Once the Flex client has been installed on the computer, a user will launch the Flex client and connect up to the Flex Policy Management Server, and they'll do that using their credentials. Then they'll download their entitled virtual desktop to their Mac, or they may again be able to copy it locally using that USB key if you don't bring it down over the network. So you have the ability either way, just depends on how you're configured to do that. Once the entire virtual desktop is on the Mac locally, it is then encrypted and password protected to ensure that the corporate desktop and associated information is safe and secure in the event of a system being stolen, making sure that everything is secure. Now simply just use the local Windows desktop just like you would as though you were on a native Windows desktop system. The look and feel of the user experience is exactly the same as it would be as if you're on that native Windows based PC, except for you're using it on a Mac. As I mentioned in the earlier slide, if the Mac is stolen or the employee is terminated, the virtual desktop image can be remotely locked by the administrators. This ensures that the employee or the thief does not have access to that virtual desktop and that associated corporate information. So again, ensuring that the corporate information is kept safe at all times. When speaking to your customers, you obviously need to know how Horizon Flex is packaged and what components are in it. So let's talk a little bit about the components as well as the packaging and licensing of it. Horizon Flex is packaged with the following components. First off, one of the main components is the Horizon Flex policy server. This provides a centralized control and management functionality for your Horizon Flex. Then you have the Horizon Flex endpoint client. It consists of Fusion Pro and Player Pro, which is installed on all your client systems. And then finally you have Mirage for Horizon Flex, which provides you your image and layering management component of Horizon Flex. So those are the three core components that make up Horizon Flex and to use all of the feature sets with it. Horizon Flex is sold in a per device basis and in packs of 10. The product went GA on December 2nd, 2014. And at the moment there are 2 upgrade paths. If you already have Fusion or Player products installed already, you can go from Fusion Player 7 Pro to Horizon Flex, or you can go from Fusion versions 5 and 6 Pro to Horizon Flex. And just if you need more details on that, we'll have more information coming. Since this is just newly released, there'll be more information coming on this. I'd like to take a minute to talk a little bit about what to listen for when you're speaking with your customers in regards to how it will solve their business problems, as well as the potential market for Horizon Flex. The most common use cases for Horizon Flex and what to listen for when speaking to your customers are broken down into 4 key use cases. So when a customer says that they currently or they want to allow employees to be able to bring their own devices, use BYOD to work, this is definitely a use case for Horizon Flex. This is becoming more and more popular. It reduces the cost of the hardware for the company by the employee using their own device at work. If they mention that they want to be able to use Macs in their corporate enterprise environment, again, another use case for it. Macs are becoming more and more prevalent in the enterprise nowadays. Also, if they say that they have a lot of road warriors, especially sales personnel, that are consistently traveling and they need to have access to the corporate desktops and information, both when they're on as well as disconnected from the network. And finally, they often use contractors to work for their company, and they want to limit the access that they have to the network, to applications and information, but yet providing the necessary information and just having that overall control over those contract workers. That is another use case for Horizon Flex. So those are the 4 core use cases that you're going to want to listen for when you're speaking to your customers and where Horizon Flex will fit in. So again, BYOD, Macs in the enterprise, road warriors, as well as contractors. Common trends that we're also seeing with many companies directly reflect all the items that we just discussed in the last slide, such as BYOD, contractors, road warriors, and using Macs in the enterprise. So the trends are the same as the use cases that we just discussed, so I'm not going to bother going through all of this again, but just be aware that the trending in the market right now also directly matches those use cases. We've also seen a large growth in IT departments allowing the use of Macs in corporate enterprises, like I mentioned earlier. As you see in this graph, it only continues to grow each year as Macs become more and more as an acceptable solution on enterprise networks. They're becoming more popular. Since Flex uses Fusion Pro, this provides the ability to run Windows-based corporate virtual desktops on Mac computers while on and both off the network. Another tremendous growth area that we see is with the use of contract workers to do work for companies. Contractors typically are limited in what access they have to the corporate network, but yet still need the access to get their job done. With Flex, the ability to have virtual desktops expire on certain dates and remote locking features can be very useful when using contract workers. So typically contract workers have an end date in which their contract is up. You can make sure that you put an expiration date for their virtual desktop as that date. Then that way you can ensure that once their contract is up, then they no longer have access to that virtual desktop as well as the associated corporate information and applications. And then the remote locking feature, again, if they have a Mac and it's stolen, you don't have to worry about whoever stole that Mac laptop having access to that corporate virtual desktop and information, because you can remotely lock it to where they can no longer have access to that virtual desktop. So that completes the presentation on Horizon Flex, but I'd like to mention just one additional item as far as enablement. If you're interested in attending or watching more of these VMware enablement sessions like the one that you're listening to right now on Horizon Flex, we've made it a little bit easier for you to stay enabled. You can do it in two very simple steps. The first step is to go to the registration link that you see down the lower left hand side, fill in your name, your email, what your role is, whether it be a salesperson, technical sales, or engineer and architect. Then you're going to select either one, two, or all three of the session types that you would like to be enabled on. As you see, the 101 level is sales, product, packaging, and licensing. 201 levels cover technical sales, product positioning, and updates. And finally, the 301 sessions are for engineering, technical deep dives, and demonstrations of the products. Then the second part of the step is to go to the calendar link in the lower right hand side and see what upcoming training sessions we have available on top of your enablement, and that'll keep you on top of your enablement rather. We'll also have weekly recaps that will direct you to previously recorded videos on our YouTube page. So those are just kind of reminders of previous sessions that we had in case you missed them. A lot of times it'll be directly related to a upcoming session that we're having later in the week or the following week. The sessions in the future will have links in there to where if there needs to be a registration for the WebEx session, that registration link will be in there for you, so you can go and get registered for it. And once you're registered, you'll be notified of upcoming enablement sessions that we have. So I highly recommend that you go out and get registered first, and then keep an eye out on the enablement calendar and keep an eye on what sessions are upcoming. With that, it completes this overview session, Horizon Flex. I'd like to thank each one of you for watching.